from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
It could be a case of the haves and the have-nots. Right now at 6, our KSAT Weather Authority team tracking storms around our viewing area.
Let's get right to meteorologist Sarah Spivey for the very latest. Some people, Sarah, seeing some dark clouds out there.
That's right. Most of us around San Antonio are seeing some dark clouds, but take a look at this. The storms have kind of split and moved east and west of San Antonio. So I think tonight, at least in the next couple of hours, the bulk of the rain is going to miss the San Antonio area. But we've been dealing with that nice outflow boundary, which has brought us some cooler weather, which is really nice. Meanwhile, though, storminess out near Seguin, New Berlin, this is where we could have a few wind gusts of up to 40-50 miles per hour. And this has been a lot of rain for the New Braunfels in the Seguin area. Coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth about how much rain has fallen in those areas. And then I also am monitoring a storm that's heading toward Hondo. Now, this storm right on the Medina and the Uvalde County line could be producing some smaller hail. So coming up, an in-depth look at the radar. I'll take a neighborhood view of where the heaviest of the rain has fallen. And even though we missed out on the rain in San Antonio just in the last hour or so, we do have more chances tomorrow. Those details coming up.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay, that was the view from radar. I want to show you the view right now from one of our TransGuide cameras. This is 35 in San Marcos. Look at kind of the dark clouds off in the distance. It looks like it's going to hit downtown, but may just split right around us.
Yeah. Tonight, new numbers from the Juvenile Probation Department show a troubling trend with kids under 17 in our community.
Take a look. The latest report by the department shows there's a 32% rise in felony aggravated assaults and 11% rise in misdemeanor assaults.
The type of crimes that we're seeing and the videos that we keep seeing of these crimes is certainly very, very alarming.
According to one juvenile probation officer, this has been an ongoing trend since 2020.
A juvenile court judge tells our Erica Hernandez how we can all do something about that.
Juvenile District Court Judge William Cruz Shaw is serving his first term as juvenile judge, but has years of experience working with people under 18.
I love it because I think we have an opportunity to help these families in our communities, and it's great seeing these kids prosper.
As of late, Shaw says there isn't so much an increase in the amount of criminal cases involving juveniles, but there has been an increase in some types of violent crimes involving this young group. The Bexar County Juvenile Probation Trend Report for the first 3 months of this year is showing an uptick, as you can see right here, in aggravated assault felony cases.
Usually it's the same group of kids committing the same offenses over and over again. But our numbers are pretty steady right now. But like we are getting a lot more high-profile cases and a slight increase in violent offenses.
Why do you believe that is?
It varies. Putting a bunch of kids together in school environments, they have issues with other kids, social media, and it's a different environment now compared to when we grew up.
Judge Shaw is also seeing more juveniles in those higher profile cases being certified as adults.
As long as the state can prove certain elements of that process, then the court has the ability to send them straight to the adult side to be tried as an adult.
It is why the goal of juvenile court is not only to help the child, but also their families.
Our main focus is the best interest of that child. So we focus on rehabilitation. We're going to give services. We're going to wrap around services both for the child and the family to hopefully get them the help that they need so they don't reoffend.
And it does take a village, so Cruz encourages everyone to say something if you see something.
We've got to be vigilant.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
A Bexar County spokesperson says a new court records computer system installed last week is now working as planned. But others are telling us a different story, particularly those who have spent time in the Bexar County Jail recently. They have a different opinion on the county's major software upgrade, one that hadn't happened in 50 years. We've been hearing stories for nearly a week now about people being held in jail days beyond what they should have, all due to that new computer system. And they say it's not getting any better.
There's a lot of people in there that shouldn't be in there. There's people sleeping on the floor, people sleeping on the restroom side.
The sheriff's office says there is a delay in processing and releasing inmates, and it's because of the new computer system. A spokesman says jail staff members are now trying to catch up on the backlog. And coming up in just a few minutes, we'll be speaking with the San Antonio defense attorney, Bobby Barrera, about this very issue, what problems he's seeing and how attorneys are now handling that. It's during our KSAT Q&A coming up at 6:30.
Let's go to Uvalde now. Tonight, we're learning the families of the victims in the Robb Elementary shooting have filed a lawsuit against FedEx and UPS. They're accusing companies of several oversights when the weapon was shipped to the shooter in Uvalde. The lawsuit claims FedEx shipped the gun used in the shooting and delivered it to a gun store. The suit also says FedEx did not verify the buyer's age. UPS accused of aiding in the illegal sale of the trigger system that shooter used as well. We emailed UPS for a statement. They tell us, quote, "Our hearts go out to the Uvalde victims and their families. Shipping firearms and components is highly regulated. UPS complies and it requires its customers to comply with all applicable federal laws. The lawsuit has no merit and we will defend accordingly," end quote. FedEx also sending us a statement this afternoon saying, quote, "Our thoughts continue to be with the Uvalde community and everyone affected by this horrific act of violence. FedEx is committed to the lawful, secure, and safe movement of regulated items through our network, and we comply with applicable laws and regulations."
Tonight, San Antonio police are looking for the person who shot a man at an apartment complex on the northwest side. This happened about 5:30 this morning on Snowden Road. That's not far from Wurzbach and Babcock near the medical center. According to SAPD, a 39-year-old man was shot several times. The police report says the suspect and the victim were arguing before those shots were fired. Officers say the suspect ran off after the shooting. We reached out to SAPD for an update on the victim's condition, have not heard back. So far, no arrests have been made.
Tonight, the San Antonio Fire Department trying to figure out the cause of a fire that injured a 68-year-old man. That fire happened sometime around 11:30 this morning on Christian Drive. That's near Loop 410 on the southeast side. According to the fire department, heavy smoke and flames coming from the kitchen area. That's where firefighters say they found the victim in a wheelchair. We're told he was taken to the hospital with second and third degree burns. He's currently in critical condition. The cause of this fire is still under investigation.
When a sexual assault happens and a survivor gets an exam, that evidence is passed through the police department. Now, a state law that was passed back in 2019 requires that law enforcement process that evidence and get it to a lab within 30 days.
Today, the city council heard about an audit report which found about 10% of cases went past that 30 days at the San Antonio Police Department. Courtney Friedman breaks down what happened and what changes have already been made.
These must be handled with care. They're rape kits, samples of evidence from a survivor who's been sexually assaulted.
We know these are very critical to a lot of people involved in these situations.
Today, City Council was shown the results of an audit report on SAPD's rape kit process. The audit happened from October 2021 to September 2023. It found about 10% or 117 rape kits were in the SAPD property room, more than the 30 days mandated by the state. But we're told there was never a backlog.
So all of the 117 kits have been tested?
Correct.
Okay.
And in no way did any of these, that 30-day mark, affect any rules of evidence to put into a case.
So let's talk about the timeline of all of this. An SAPD courier picks up that kit from the hospital and brings it here to the property room. Then it's processed by detectives, and that same courier picks it up and takes it to the Bexar County lab. The problem that the audit found was that there is only one SAPD courier.
For whatever reason, sick, vacation, whatever it was, then that pickup wasn't done. To make that system more effective and efficient, we have a backup, and then now there's also a secondary backup.
That's just one of the changes made when SAPD got some of the audit results back in March and April. SAPD Sergeant Washington Moscoso said changes were made immediately. The next change had to do with their computer systems.
They thought they were within the 30 days because they checked it off on the management system, but the property room uses a separate system.
That system more accurately tracks the number of days. In addition, the unit was giving bi-weekly reports, and now those come weekly, more oversight and communication. Now they say most kits are getting processed in just a week.
If you can let us know that their follow-up process is working more efficiently, then that's all I ask.
Moscoso is confident council will be happy with the future follow-up. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
This afternoon, President Joe Biden's son Hunter convicted of 3 felony gun charges. And tonight we are now hearing from a juror about how they came to that decision. It's the first time the son of a sitting president has faced a criminal trial. Took a jury made up of 6 women, 6 men, 3 hours over 2 days to come to a guilty verdict. One man who asked not to be named saying politics never came into play in the jury room.
My mind just wasn't focused on that his father was the president of the United States. That didn't affect me or sway me one bit.
Hunter Biden still has another case coming up. He faces tax-related felony charges in Los Angeles, accused of not paying $1.4 million in taxes over 5 years. That trial is scheduled to begin September 5th.
Happening later this week, Doc Talk. Here's how it works. You scan this QR code and type in any health question you would like a doctor to answer. That doctor will join us here at KSAT. Doc Talk airs every Thursday on the news at 6, so send in those questions.
It is a big concern in San Antonio. Also happening on Thursday, our KSAT community partners will have a town hall to discuss the growing challenges of elder abuse in our community. Our Avery Everett will be speaking with members from Adult Protective Services about what's being done to combat elder abuse. It's happening Thursday, June 13th at 2 p.m. You can watch it live on KSAT Plus and on KSAT.com.
Still ahead here on the news at 6, Methodist Children's Hospital is expanding its pediatric intensive care unit. How that will help families through some critical situations.
But first, let's take another live look outside with live cam meteorologist Sarah Spivey tracking some storms around our viewing area. Where'd all the dark clouds go? Sarah will tell us coming up.
If you're renting, what are your rights? We've received a handful of complaints about different apartments in and around San Antonio. Tonight on the Night Beat, we go inside a renters' rights meeting and bring you what you need to know.
With flooding across Texas and potential storms tonight through San Antonio, what are you doing to stay safe? Coming up tonight on the Night Beat, we're talking about some of these spots across San Antonio that are prone to flooding and the preventative measures in place across our city to help keep you prepared.
Those stories and more coming up tonight on the Night Beat. Well, Methodist Children's Hospital's newly expanded pediatric intensive care unit is now fully operational. It was part of a $15 million project with the Methodist Health System. The expansion allowed Methodist Children's Hospital to hire more nurses to help serve the 24 new beds. The pediatric ICU also moved to its own floor. Officials at the hospital say this will allow more resources to care for children in ICU.
So previously we would share a unit and share ICU resources, and now this separate floor gives us the resources dedicated to our pediatric ICU patients.
Methodist said they had patients in mind when designing the PICU, right down to the wall color. Why is that important? Well, they hope it makes going to the hospital a little less scary for children.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Meanwhile, there is a new mental health facility serving kids that is now open in the medical center. Clarity Child Guidance Center on Tom Slick Drive just underwent a multi-million-dollar renovation. This will be used to treat mental health conditions like emotional, developmental, or behavioral disorders in kids ages 3 to 17. And this is just one phase of the Heroes Capital campaign.
In addition to the 8-bed expansion, we did a extensive renovation of our kitchen that had not been updated since 1986. And we've got 2 more phases to go. We've got an outpatient expansion and an expansion of our crisis area.
According to the center, children's mental health problems are commonly untreated because of 3 barriers: a lack of service providers near them, the stigma that can often surround mental health, and the ability to pay for treatment.
All right, so we've been monitoring these storms all afternoon. Sarah Spivey joins us now. And Sarah, some areas actually looking at some hail possibilities out there.
That's exactly right. Now, west of San Antonio, a storm is approaching Highway 90. This storm right here that you can see outlined in this yellow box, that is a severe thunderstorm warning, is in effect until about 6:45 this evening. And as I zoom in, it's really areas from Sabinal through to Hennis out toward Hondo that are under the gun for the potential for some quarter-sized hail. You can see all of that purple and even some of that black heading right toward Hennis. So if you're into Hennis, you need to be inside and away from windows because, again, quarter-sized hail is possible and that could do some damage. So keep track of the time. It is 6:16 p.m. After the storm passes, I want you to go outside, take pictures of any hail that you see, and note the time for insurance purposes. And if you do happen to have some pictures that you want to send in to us, you can do so on KSAT Connect. I'll try to show them a little bit later on the night beat. Again, that is the one severe storm as it moves south. It'll probably fall apart before it reaches Pearsall, but it's something that I'll be keeping my eye on. Quarter-sized hail, gusty winds of up to 60 miles per hour. Let's take a look at what else is going on out there right now. We've got some heavy rain falling over Seguin, heading towards Stockdale, Nixon, Smiley, and Gonzales. This is just some good rainfall for these areas. Now, it is noisy, a lot of lightning, gusty winds of up to 40 miles per hour, but it is not producing that damaging hail like that storm out near to Hennis. Notice that around San Antonio, it is fairly quiet at the moment. We've just got an isolated shower out near Calaveras Lake. And as I put this in motion, you can see there's a few more storms as we head out to the west. I want to turn on the radar that's a little bit closer to these storms out west. You can see just north of Amistad Reservoir, we've got a storm, and then a storm is moving through parts of eastern Edwards County into Kerr County. This storm is probably going to fall apart before it reaches San Antonio, but I'll be keeping my eye on it. Again, luck of the draw this time. Most of the storms have missed the San Antonio area, but at least we're getting rain-cooled air. Take a look at these temperatures. It's only 83 in San Antonio right now. It was just 97 about 30 minutes ago. And it's still 99 in Pleasanton, where that rain-cooled air has yet to reach, and it's 76 in Bulverde, 72 in Bernie. So it's going to be a pleasant evening after these storms move through with temperatures pretty mild. Looking at the futurecast, I think our chance for storms takes a bit of a break after 10 p.m. Then in the early morning hours tomorrow, close to dawn, there will be a few showers out there. Not a slam dunk of rain, like tonight was not a slam dunk of rain, but it could potentially impact the morning commute in spots tomorrow. Then as we head into the afternoon, we get a little daytime heating that acts as fuel for the potential for a few more storms, about a 30% chance in the afternoon as well tomorrow. So this evening, temperatures right near 80 degrees by midnight. Storm chances dying down. Early tomorrow morning, a 30% chance, 75 degrees in the morning hours, close to 90 by noon. We'll see some sunshine, and then another 30% chance after 3 p.m. Tomorrow is our last chance for storms, though, because here's a look at the visible satellite. You can see that swirl in the atmosphere. That's that upper level low. That is going to move out of the area, and instead, what we're going to see, our mortal enemy, the heat dome, moving right over Texas, and that means it's going to get hot once again, and high means dry, so our rain chances go out. We'll be up to 100 degrees by Father's Day. At least we won't stay at 100 for very long. We could cool down a little bit more Monday and Tuesday.
All right, thank you, Sarah.
All right, they are new faces in familiar places. We're talking about some high school football coaches that are taking over some different teams, Mary.
Yeah, new faces in familiar places, and also familiar faces in those
new
same
places.
New places. Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of how it is in the San Antonio high school football scene. And coming up, we'll introduce you to the newest head coaches at Brandeis and Roosevelt. And the San Antonio Spurs are planning to hold a workout with one of the top projected picks in the NBA draft. The details after the break.
Our group that we grew up with and graduated in 2004, we were district champions. We were pretty good. And that has been the whole push, not only to come back and be good football players and create a good football team and build a legacy, but making sure we're building young men.
The Roosevelt High School football program is in great hands after the departure of Matt Carroll, who left for Killeen ISD in big board sports. Well, later this month, the San Antonio Spurs will have 2 top 10 picks in the NBA draft at 4 and 8. According to reports, the Spurs will be holding a workout for Zachary Rehabilitating, who is projected to go very high in the draft, likely top 3. But that's not stopping the Spurs from working out with the 6'9" wing. If the Spurs want Rehabilitating, they'll likely have to trade up, which could be dependent on how the workout goes. The head coach responsible for one of the best stories in high school football is now taking over the reins at Brandeis. Kimmy Lewis guided Memorial to its first district championship back in 2017. And now the former DCTF 5A Coach of the Year is moving on from his role as defensive coordinator at Harlan to take over as head coach of the Brandeis football program. 2 weeks in, Lewis is all smiles.
The first day was, again, it's a real feeling to be a part of, a prestigious program, the premier program in San Antonio, if you will. Again, I'm excited to be a part, be named the guy to help lead this, and I can tell you I'm going to give you my very best, and I'm excited to be here. There's no difference from leaving Harlan to coming over to Brandeis. Same type of caliber kids. You have the weight room facilities that are top-notch. You have coaching staffs that are top-notch, the coaches' offices. So we have the resources to be successful.
Lewis adds right now his top priority is getting to know the players and coaches, and after seeing him at practice today, it appears that process is going very well. Well, over at Roosevelt High School, Darnell Barnes has been upgraded to athletic director and head coach of the football program after years of enhancing the Rough Riders athletic programs in various roles. Most recently, a linebackers special teams coordinator. Barnes is a 2004 Roosevelt graduate, and he wears it with pride.
After 12 seasons, bringing my children up here to every summer strength and conditioning camp. My daughter is out here on the field right now. She'll be playing softball here. My son, who is going to be 5th grader, he loves these kids. He's on our sideline. He's our ball boy. But to have the opportunity to be head coach, athletic coordinator, it just means that my roots grow a little bit deeper. My arms get a little bit longer. But I just get to continue to love kids in this community, the community that raised me.
Barnes coaches with passion, and that'll hopefully be the recipe to build upon the team's 6-4 record from last season. Oh no, a 4th of July tradition ending, The all-time great hot dog eater Joey Chestnut is opting out of Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest because he partnered with a rival plant-based hot dog company. What a bummer!
What?
This is such a bizarre move.
So bizarre.
Right?
I haven't totally wrapped my head around it, but that's sad. 4th of July will be different.
If you don't go with Nathan's, you can't compete in their deal? Is that what it is?
Yeah, especially if it's plant-based, they don't do that. They like, real meat, I guess.
They like hot dogs.
Yeah.
Hot dogs.
Hot dog.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mary.
I was going to say hot dogs and real
Real
meat.
meat? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, for about a week now, we have been telling you about the problems caused by a software update within Bexar County. It all has to do with judicial records. Well, coming up next in our KSAT Q&A, we're going to talk to a local defense attorney about the significance of those issues and what they're dealing with now. Next.
It is, by most accounts, a huge problem that is going on right now at the Bexar County Courthouse and the Bexar County Jail and the Bexar County Justice System. We're talking about a system called Odyssey that was supposed to be a major upgrade for the first time in 50 years to how cases go through the courts, how the records are, how people are given bail out of the jail system. It's all encompassing. And joining us on our Q&A to kind of help us figure our way through this is Bobby Barrera. He's former president of the San Antonio Bar Association, current director of the Texas Criminal Defense Lawyers Association. Bobby, it's good to see you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
How big a problem is this Odyssey computer system?
At the present time, the problem is enormous because it has backlogged the system for every aspect of the processing of people accused of crimes, from law enforcement to the clerks to the judges and to especially the criminal defense bar, who's unable to access the information they need in order to help the system work smoothly.
And so this is not stopping cases from proceeding. I mean, the justice system still's got to roll on. So what is this doing to cases day by day?
It's like a ship with a flat tire. It's moving. However, the process has been slowed significantly because we, as the defense lawyers, don't have access to information we need to evaluate the case. The clerks and the various courts are inundated with this new program that has multiple facets of the introduction of information, which has actually slowed down the process significantly. So much so, in the old days, we used to do handwritten resets, which were signed by the defendant, signed by the lawyer. Page was torn off and you go out your merry way. Well, we got rid of that with the old computer system. Now we're back to handwritten resets.
Wow.
Because it takes so long for a clerk to enter the data just to reset a case.
What's the human cost here? I mean, there are people that are in jail as we speak, I'm guessing, that shouldn't still be there.
Absolutely. There are any number of clients, and again, I'm on the San Antonio Criminal Defense Lawyers Association, and we communicate with each other, the problems, the benefits, whatever's going on in the courthouse. Every day since Monday of the implementation of this program, there are horror stories about people who made bond who weren't released for a week to 10 days, people who were never brought to court although they were on the docket, people who should have been released that weren't, and there's some significant information supporting that people who should not have been released are now free on the streets, and the computers still show they're in jail and they're out.
And that's a very different story from what we heard from the Bexar County Jail and the county itself.
I can tell you, I have specifically investigated this issue as a member of the bar for purposes of trying to resolve whose fault is it. It's not the clerk's fault. It's not the jail's fault. It's certainly not the lawyer's fault. It's the Odyssey program in its application to the Bexar County computers, which has backed this up for absolutely everyone who's involved in the criminal justice system.
And Bobby, I want to reiterate the point you made. There are people who have been released from the jail who shouldn't have been.
Absolutely. That is a confirmed rumor. I don't have the name of the client, but I've talked to numerous people and to the lawyers who have that information directly from these people who've been released.
Okay.
And this was a system that, as we have reported, hadn't been updated in 50 years, which is wild to think about.
Correct.
It was supposed to help people see the data of a case across all different departments, from law enforcement to attorneys. What needed to change within this system that clearly has gone wrong?
The implementation of the software is what has gone wrong. We've met numerous times in the last literal 5 to 6 years with representatives of the Odyssey system of what's needed, what's missing, and what needs to be corrected in the system that was replaced. So we were sold that this is going to be the greatest in sliced bread of what we could expect. There is a significant amount of information that is now more readily available if the system works. At present, the implementation of the system has, I'm not going to say it's been a total failure, because day by day it's getting better. The problem is when you lose 20 or 25 inmates in the jail system, those are people who have not been convicted of crimes, who are stuck there, whose family members keep getting the same response from the jail. He's in the process of being released, when in actuality, many times they have no idea where that person is in the system.
We talked to a family just this weekend, a mother who was saying her son was arrested. He was there for several days when he shouldn't have been. He needed a lot of mental health care, medications that he wasn't able to get. So there's a lot on the line other than time. There's pay here for people as well. I mean, that's things you can't get back.
Absolutely. And no one understands the significance of that until it's their wife or their mother or their father who's lost in jail, and no deputy can tell them anything more than what they read on the computer. And I've had a client in my office just this week who showed in jail on the computer. They had no idea he had been released, and he's sitting in my office.
So I just wanted to quickly follow up about, you said 5 or 6 years worth of meetings kind of going through what this was supposed to do. Do you feel like it was vetted well enough before it was implemented?
All I can tell you is this system has been in place in other counties and in other states for many years, but it feels like Bexar County was a beta test for this program, because the application, while on the software side looked great, the application side has been a nightmare for the criminal justice system.
We're kind of running over time here, but I still have a lot of important questions I want to ask you. One is, who's to blame? I mean, obviously the software company, it hasn't gone as well as it should, but you can't really hold a software company accountable. I mean, who in the county should be held accountable here? Where does the buck stop?
Well, the buck stops with the people who ordered the system and who caused Bexar County to install this system. They relied upon the representations of the seller, Odyssey, Tyler Technologies. But all you have to do is Google Tyler Technologies, and you will see the myriad of lawsuits across the country specifically against Tyler and the release systems and the failure to provide information and the release of information that should never have been released. There are multiple lawsuits, but because this program has been years in the making in Bexar County. When I was on the San Antonio Bar Association president, we were talking about this back in 2016.
Yeah.
Here we are 8, 9 years later, and the day it opens was the day it failed.
Are you optimistic it'll be fixed?
Yes. And I'm optimistic because I've talked to a number of people as recently as a couple of hours ago in the magistration system who said it's like eating an elephant. It's one fork at a time, but it's going to happen.
Yeah. That doesn't sound pleasant.
It's not. And believe you me, we're here and enjoying this conversation, but the people who are stuck in jail, sadly, should not be.
And that's exactly why I wanted to have this conversation, because what we're hearing from the county is very different than what we're hearing from you, Bobby.
I don't disagree. I've personally made the phone calls. My office has made phone calls, and the San Antonio criminal defense lawyers who are organized in this effort to streamline the process. We were included in the design information input through the county. Judge Rangel was instrumental, and we all met numerous times. But it's as if it fell on deaf ears, and everything we wanted to accomplish has been a failure by the application of this software program in Bexar County.
I know we both have more questions. People in our newsroom who've been covering this have more questions, but I appreciate you sharing some time with us. And this is an issue that we're going to keep covering to try to find out what's going on and how it's actually progressing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to try and make the system better for everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Bobby, because there is a human cost here. I mean, we're not just talking about paperwork. We're talking about a human cost. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be right back.
Look outside with live cam, those dark clouds breaking up, and the rain, at least for San Antonio, seemed to just go right around us, Sarah.
But look at those temperatures.
Yeah, the temperatures are much nicer, 82, not too bad. But yeah, a bit of a tease. Most of the storms did move around San Antonio. And as we head into the evening, our storm chances are really going to come down especially after 9 o'clock. Here's a look at the radar right now. Heavier rain falling out near Gonzales. One severe storm just moved through D'Hanis, heading south in Medina County. And we've got a couple more isolated storms in the hill country. Coming up, we're going to be taking a look at where the heaviest rain fell. I'll have a neighborhood look at rainfall totals.
All right, it was a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Rain was coming right for us.
I know, and Sarah, we were talking about that as you saw those storms split. Some people think, oh, there's this dome over San Antonio. That's not the case.
There's not. It all fills in eventually, but the problem is rain is such a hot commodity here in San Antonio. So when we see those storms coming, we're like, please, 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 please. And if they move around, they move around. It's just the weather pattern we're dealing with. The storms are spotty in nature. And keep in mind that yesterday We did get a lot of rain, especially for western Bexar County. So it all fills in eventually, but right now it's filling in for the Gonzales area and near Cuero. That's where we've got some heavier of the rain falling, nearer to Nixon Smiley as well. You can clearly see the outflow boundary from these storms. That's that thin green line there. The outflow boundary is rain cool there. It feels amazing outside in San Antonio right now, even though it's not raining. And by the way, that severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for D'Hanis has been allowed to expire as this storm is weakening as it's moving toward more. So even more, you'll get a few flashes of lightning, some rumbles of thunder, but you won't have to worry about any hail with that. And there are some areas of light rain showers right now near Medina Lake, Rio Medina, and near Bernie. San Antonio again could see some very light rain here within the next couple of hours, but any storminess will be reserved in pockets across the hill country. Right now, just south of Devils River State Natural Area, and also between Lakey and Kerrville. Again, this is the area that's dealing with the most intense drought, so it's seen plenty of rain within the last couple of days, which is good news. Let's take a look, though, at some of the neighborhoods that have really seen rain here this evening. Again, I think this totally shows the split as well. Take a look at where all the rain fell up and over San Antonio, but some of the heaviest of the rain fell for the Seguin area. We can go ahead and zoom in some of these neighborhoods here. Near New Braunfels, about half an inch of rain. South of Seguin, about an inch. Right here along the corner of Guadalupe County and Gonzales County, about an inch and a half. So again, some good rain for those areas that kind of missed out yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a look at temperatures. Again, this is really nice to see. Temperatures falling into the 80s around San Antonio, even in the 70s in the hill country, 75 in New Braunfels. That is wonderful. Huge temperature spread by 30 degrees all the way out near Del Rio. It's 100 where they haven't been dealing with that rain cooled air. So again, even though we didn't get the rain in San Antonio, we are seeing some rain cooled air, and we do have another opportunity for rain. Isolated tomorrow in the morning. During the morning commute, there will be a few pockets of showers and storms. And then once again in the afternoon, a lot like today, a few folks got some storms. I think that's going to be possible tomorrow afternoon too. It's only 30% chance though, so keep that in mind. And then our rain chances are done for a period of time. So 30% chance in the morning for some of that isolated rain. We'll get up to about 88 around noon, and then a 30% chance in the afternoon and early evening. 94 for the high temperature in San Antonio tomorrow, and it'll be another hot day out west, 100 in Del Rio, but only in the upper 80s in the Texas Hill Country. Then we're going to be seeing temperatures rise. So tomorrow's our quote unquote coolest day at 94, because by Sunday we'll be at 100. It is going to be a pretty hot Father's Day weekend, 99 on Saturday, 100 on Sunday, and then we reintroduce isolated rain on Monday and Tuesday. At least we're not going to be locked into a completely dry and triple-digit weather pattern for too long. I think that's about the best we can hope for in June, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more rain in the forecast next week.
That'd be great.
Fingers crossed.
It's why we wanted it so much today.
I know.
We know we got to get it when we can, right?
Womp womp.
Yeah. We'll be right back. To the buzz, and when you're stranded on the beach, you use whatever resources you can. That's exactly what one California kite surfer did over the weekend. He used rocks to spell out "help" on the sand. A private helicopter spotted the message, contacted authorities. See it right there?
Yeah, the man was stranded on this remote beach south of Davenport Landing in Santa Cruz County. First responders said he got stuck when the tide started coming in, and when it comes up against those cliffs, I guess there's nowhere to go. Rescue crews pulled him up to a nearby cliff, and they said the surfer did not need any medical attention.
I thought maybe it'd say like "help, brah," something like that.
So what you see in the movies works, I guess.
Yeah.
In Oregon, a dog ran 4 miles through the wilderness to get help after his owner's truck went off the road and into a ravine. The local sheriff's office says that family members went looking for the man and found him, but couldn't get to him because the terrain was so difficult.
Authorities were able to pull him out of the ravine, which was several hundred feet deep, using a rope system. He was airlifted to a hospital. A man released from the hospital is recovering at home. The other 3 dogs who are with him, they're okay.
Man and dog rescued.
Man's best friend. Be right back.
Rain everywhere but San Antonio right now, and we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. So Brackettville, you should be inside and away from windows until 8 p.m. because the storm could contain some hail, some quarter-sized hail. Otherwise, for San Antonio, a 30% chance for a storm. Tomorrow, we'll be warming up very quickly, though, into Father's Day, 100 degrees.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for watching the news at 6.
See you on the Night Beat at 10.